green light. Go, go, go.
Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to round 6 of season 5 of the Race Club GT3 Championship. We are alive and go tonight for a double header. We've got a 20-minute race to start off with, and then we've got a 40-minute race. So we have got double the fun for you tonight. We've got a reasonably full grid. It's obviously a little bit challenging during these summer months when people decide to go off and have things like holidays and that kind of thing. So we are still got quite a number of drivers out there for you. The other good news is we have got live chat back up and working. So I am sure you will be wanting to get involved with us and let us know what is going on with you and with everything else. As we all know, at the moment the weather is a bit hot. I'd say it's hotter than a smackhead spoon on Benefits Day actually here in the UK at the moment. Oh, just watching on screen, that's a nun in the Mercedes getting all crossed up coming out of the Villeneuve chicane there. So luckily it's only his out lap, and he's going to be the first of our drivers to put a time in, assuming he hasn't caused himself any damage there. Just to tell you a little bit about this Zolder circuit, some of you older readers of Formula 1 will remember it was a venue in the past. This was actually Belgium's first purpose-built racetrack. Opened in 1963 and took over the F1 in the early 70s when Spa, the road circuit, basically got boycotted by the Formula 1 drivers because it was too fast. Had a little bit of a checkered history towards the end of its tenure with the Formula 1. 1981, it had a couple of bad accidents where one mechanic got killed in the pit lane, and then on race day a mechanic actually and those of you that watch Formula 1 nowadays can't believe this kind of thing could happen, that one of the drivers stalled on the grid, so a mechanic jumped over the wall with the starter to try and fire it up. Unfortunately, the starter of the race didn't spot this, let the cars go, and the one of the drivers was unsighted and ran into the back of the car with the mechanic behind it. Incredibly, he got away with just 2 broken legs, and I believe his name was actually Lucky or Luckett, so it was very much Luckett on his side that particular day. And then the following year, 1982, obviously there was the terrible accident that took the life of the great Gilles Villeneuve when he hit the back of Jochen Massa's car on the way down to what is now the Gilles Villeneuve chicane, and the car cartwheeled and disintegrated, and effectively he died at that moment. So shortly afterwards, in 1985, the race returned to Spa, to the new format circuit, and hasn't left there since. Zolder has continued, obviously it's still here today. Is more of generally a national circuit nowadays. Things like DTM and one of the IndyCar series when it was split have visited in the past. World Touring cars have visited, but at the moment it hasn't got a massive amount of international races. So after that quick history lesson, let's just dive in to keep an eye on what's happening at the moment. First few times of coming in, I was watching the free practice just before this race, and the fastest time was just under a 1:30, so we're expecting pole to be somewhere around that kind of time, and Donardi at the moment is not far off it with a 1:30.183. And none keeping him honest there, just 0.4 of away. So I expect there's quite a cluster of cars heading towards the end of the lap. So I think one of them is actually Randy Flangepants. Yes, he's the first one. Oh, we appear to have slow cameraman syndrome again. Those of you that were with us last week at Laguna Seca will know that we have suffered with that. So Randy Flangepants is coming up to the the Jackie Itch chicane, onto the main straight to put his first time in. Has he kept it in between the lines and got a time in? Yes, he has. And up to third for Randy Flangepants. Cracking time there, and Marge there in fifth, just 1.9 off pole. But Randy Flangepants, he will be well chuffed with that. At the moment, his best result so far is a 6th in the Suzuka 1 hour endurance. So he's certainly shown a bit more performance there tonight. So who else have we got coming up to the line? I think we have Bazux coming up to the line. Not sure. I think this is an out lap rather than a quick lap. I am correct. And then Marge is coming across for another lap time. And Marge up to 4th there. Just 1.1 off pole. And a Nun's first lap, next lap, sorry, round is only 0.2 off the 1:30.0 of Donardi. So the one we haven't seen anything from yet is Chicken Paxo, who I would expect to be up there. And just as I speak, there he is, just 0.6 off pole at the moment in the second Audi to Donardi. So there in the red and yellow one is Chicken Paxo. Just heading around Canal Turn. Just trying to see who else we've got coming up. Is anybody else putting in a new time? I think Chris V. Dub in the green Porsche there. Now, he had a cracking result in Laguna Seca. In the first race, he was on pole and heading for a good result. What has he done there? No, he's not gone any faster on that one. He was on the podium in the first race, which is best result of the season so far. Then in the second race, he had an extremely weird disconnection, which resulted in him basically going into orbit. He just sort of took off like a jet plane leaving for your holiday. So he did rejoin and still got a result, but obviously that did rather spoil his efforts of that evening. So we've got just under 3 minutes remaining of the qualifying for this first race. Who have we got that's going to do anything? We've got somebody coming up to the line now. I can't quite see the number at the moment. I think JR80's put a lap time in. He's a little bit off the pace there, but not a million miles apart. Oh, and Chris V. Dub getting it all crossed up at Villeneuve. So that would have invalidated his lap. So and he's off again. So he's being caught there rapidly by Randy Flangepants in the pink Bentley there. I don't know if he's going to have a go to get by or just ease off and let it for another lap, or he may be on a hot lap of his own, taking advantage of a slipstream off the Porsche there. So through Jackie X. That sounded almost rude, didn't it? So up to the finishing line. No quicker times there for either of those two drivers. So they are they've got a chance of one more lap after this one. Everyone's got a lap in now apart from Whitesnake, who is still in the pit. So unless he makes a fast exit, I don't think he's going to have time to get back round. Somebody's off just after Villeneuve, but they've got going here. I'm not sure who that was. Driver coming out to complete a lap now is Chicken Paxo. Oh, Bazix has put a good time in. He's just 0.288 off the pole time set by Donardi. I don't know if Donardi can get it just under that 1:30 bar. Coming up to complete his penultimate lap there, though, is Chicken Paxo in the red and yellow Audi. Comes to the line and he pulls himself up to third. Look how tight it is at the front. Just 0.3 of a second covers the top four. We are going to have some cracking racing here tonight. So let's just have a quick look round. Who else can we keep an eye on that we think we're going to see a faster time from? JR80's in the pits, so with just 40 seconds remaining, I don't see him going any quicker. Let's see where a Nun is. He's just starting what will be his final lap. Just trying to keep the eye out. Anyone else heading towards the finish? I think that could be. Oh, that is Donardi in the blue and yellow Audi there. Through Jackie X, and heading towards finish line. Can he get it under a 1:30? He's scampering towards the line. Yellow flag is out for somebody off at the first corner. Yes, he has. Whoa, what a time there. Not only just under 1:30, he's under 1:29.5 with a 1:29.496. So that, I think, is going to be very difficult to beat. Chicken Paxo has been dropped down to 4th. I think it's Bazux there who went a little bit quicker there in the blue and yellow Bentley. The next one with a chance is actually Chicken Paxo. He's heading for the line now, and just behind him is Anun. So Paxo across the line. He doesn't go any quicker. So can Anun do anything about the front row? No, he can't. So that's your top 4 sorted out. VR46 is still out there. He's heading for the line. He's had some cracking results. He's taken a little while to get his speed up through the season, but he won the first race in Laguna Seca. So VR46 is definitely coming up, and he comes to the line. Can't quite do anything better than 5th place on this occasion, but definitely on the pace. So who else have we got that's still rotating? We've got Banff, who is coming up to the final chicane. Bazuk's teammate, can he do anything about it? He's currently down in 9th. And yes, he can. Look at that. What a leap that was from 9th to 3rd. So great final lap there under pressure from Banff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So everyone will now be returning to the pits to get ourselves organised for the start of the race. Just to give you, while we got a little bit of breathing space here, just want to run down where things are on the championship side of things. Now, our current championship leader is Donardi. He's on 171 points. Had a cracking start to the season. He's won 3 races. He won the second race at Imola at round 1, and both of the Brands Hatch races at round 2. Since then, he's had some steady results, but he's been banking the points. So those first few races really gave him a springboard. Currently second in the championship is Chicken Paxo. First round at Imola, he had a win and a second place. And then in the second round, he was second twice to Donardi. But then again, like Donardi, the results have then become a little bit inconsistent. But again, that good haul of points at the first round has pulled those 2 guys out in front in the championship. Now, next along is Anun, Bazux and DB Kung are all within 10 points of each other. Anun has had some good results. He had a first in the second race at Monza, and he also won the double pointer at Suzuka. So that really helped leap him up the scoreboard there. And then 4th is Bazux on 101 points, so he's just 6 points behind Anun.
30 seconds.
He won the second race at Monza, and he was also had a good result in the Suzuka race.
20 seconds.
No, I've got those 2 guys' results mixed up. I tried to do something clever tonight. I do apologise. I'll tidy that up later. Now, DB Kung, he's not with us tonight. He was our polemeister for a few rounds. He won the second race at Laguna, but unfortunately can't be with us tonight because it's his 8th wedding anniversary, which apparently in Sweden is your rubber one. Now, there's lots of jokes I could do there, but we're much more mature than that at Race Club. So I will just keep it clean. Why I have rubber instead of bronze that we have in the UK, I've got absolutely no idea. But DB Kung is enjoying himself in rubber tonight. So 6th is Banff. Now, that's Bazuk's teammate. Now, he's had 3 third places has been his best results. That was at Imola, Monza and Suzuka. So he's done some cracking consistent work there, but he's a little bit off those sort of top 5 at the moment. And then VR46 has brought himself into contention with that win at Laguna last time out. And then 8th in the championship with 49 points is Chris VW, who had that great result at Laguna Seca last week with his first podium. And then we've got a driver who I'm starting to think may have dropped out of the championship, is Brownster. he won the first race at Monza earlier in the season, but has missed the last 2 rounds and is not with us tonight. So he had some connection problems with his, had some rig problems at the first race and had to retire when the pedals actually broke off. So that really has put a bit of a dent in his championship aspirations. And then rounding out the top 10 with us tonight is Rusty GT, and he's dropped I think 3 rounds. He's only competed in 2 rounds, and his best result was a 4th in the second race at Brands Hatch. So drivers just working their way through. They're just coming through the Villeneuve chicane, which was installed after the accident there that unfortunately took the life of Gilles. It was before then a fast right-hander. It's now a rather clumsy chicane. So drivers will just about be getting themselves to line up side by side. Just to remind you, it's a 20-minute race. There's no scheduled pit stop, so if you end up in the pits, you've probably made a mistake. So here we go, everyone lining up, dumping a little bit on the brakes just to get some heat into them. Just then we've got some activity on the live chat now. Unfortunately, I haven't got it up on my screen at the moment, so hopefully it will come back to me shortly. So here we go, up to the line for round 1 of round 6 of Race Club. We are
green light, give it all you
and
got.
we're away. Here we go. So down to the first left-hander. Oh, who's that in the background? I think that was Chicken Paxo looking to the inside the first corner. It looks like he's done really well. It looks like he's jumped about 3 spots there. Let's wait till we come to the next corner and see what we see. He's dropped back to 4th. He didn't quite get, he almost got in front of a nun there, but couldn't quite get the move done. So here we go, and that is Donardi going down the inside of Bazix. Is he? Oh, and they touch, and they both spin. One's gone one side, one's gone the other, and heavy impact there with Bazix. So that means, I think, that a nun has taken the lead there. So the 2 leaders there took each other out. So that's going to be a real turn up for the books and for the championship. So a nun into the lead, Chicken Paxo into 2nd. Banff in the 3rd, and VR46 up to 4th already. So through the Villeneuve chicane, these first front 4 are pulling away a little bit. Randy Flangepants getting into a little bit of a battle there with Chris V Dub by the look of it, but he's holding him off at the moment. Rusty GT, he started 10th, he's already up to 5th. What a cracking bit of driving there. And Randy Flangepants holding the inside up to the right-hander. Oh, and he's just collided there with Rusty GT, who did seem to be almost stationary on the exit of the corner. And unfortunately, that let Chris V Dub through, and the Chris V Dub is now having a go at Rusty GT as they come up to Jackie Hicks. Oh, and that's Randy Flangepants cutting across the grass there, but I think that was more just to outbraking himself. So while these are battling, let's just hop back up to the front. So we've got a nun still leading with Chicken Paxo 2nd, and then we appear to have lost VR46, unfortunately. I think that must have been a disconnection. So the lead is between a nun and Chicken Paxo at the moment. Now Donardi F1 and Bazix, who had that collision at the start, are starting to work their way back up through the field. They're just getting by there, the white Aston Martin of Whitesnake. Well, one of them's got by, so these 2, I expect to see those 2 coming through the field fairly quickly. So let's go back up to the lead, because it's really tight, and it's even tighter. And Nun fending off Chicken Paxo there, and that's brought Banff into play. Banff is right on the back of these 2 now. And here we go, back over the crest, down towards the right-hander. And Nun going very, very defensive on the inside there. However, that will compromise him on the exit, and it has. And Chicken Paxo's gone to the right of him there. They're going side by side up towards Jackie Hicks. And Nun's on the inside for the upcoming left-hander. But Chicken Paxo's got it done round the outside. What a fantastic mover. And he's already gapped Anun by probably half a second there. And look, Banff is already onto the back of Anun. So, having started, I think, around about 5th chicken pack, so he's into the lead. Now, he was helped by the 2 drivers coming off the track on that first lap. Regardless, though, he has got his way up into the lead, and it's great to say VR46 has obviously had a disconnection problem, but he has rejoined us, and I think he's back in the pit, so hopefully he's going to rejoin the race. So I'm not quite sure where to look, because there's quite a battle here for 4th, 5th and 6th here as well. But actually, I'm going to go back, because I'm looking at Banff trying to get by Anun as they go down to Villeneuve. Really clumsy little chicane here, and you can easily pick up track limits warnings through there if you're just a bit too greedy with those curbs. So chicken pack, so getting away a little bit from Anun there. He's now 1.5 seconds up the road, and looking further down the field, Donardi is already up to 7th. Bazek still down in 11th at the moment, so Donardi making a lot faster progress back through the field than what the Bazek is at the moment. So I don't know if Bazek has had another adventure or if he's suffering damage from that incident. He did seem to collide heavily nose first with the barrier. So I can see your comments coming in on YouTube. Please keep them coming. I will catch up with you in a moment, but as you can probably appreciate, we've got quite a lot going on. We're just clicking over quarter race distance of this 20-minute race. So let's have a look. Chris V-Dub is right on the back of Rusty GT. So just working his way round this right hand and then up towards the first of these fairly clumsy, well, it's 1x1 chicanes. But there is a possibility of trying to get an inside line and maybe try to brake, but no opportunity for Chris V-Dub there. But it looks like he may have got a better exit as they head down the hill round the left-hander. It'll be a long way round the outside there for Chris V-Dub, and he can't quite do it. Oh! And Rusty's gone across the curb there, and it looks like Chris V-Dub's trying to go right round the outside. Now have they got the drive? He can't quite make it stick. But I think Rusty GT will be on a warning there, because of going across the chicane like that will have given him a track limits warning. And look who's coming there, the blue and yellow Audi. That is Donardi in the background there, catching these two. So if he gets through these two, that gets Donardi back up to 4th place. So just having a quick look at the YouTube chat. Microbatic said, let's go Anun. Well, Anun is going. He's in 2nd place at the moment, so he's doing really well. Ben Godden, who actually organised this event, he's wishing everybody a good race. And Dave Cannon, one of our regular viewers, he's saying evening. So good to have you all on board. Let me know what your thoughts are, who's going to do what in the racing, and who do you think's going to win. It's always good to hear from you out there. So let's just have a look back as to see who's doing what, and is anyone likely to do anything exciting. Well, talking of things exciting, look at this. We've got Bazek's Whitesnake and JR80 all together here, and that looks like Bazek's going down the... Oh, and there's Marge getting all crossed up. Now, this is going to be like Formula 1 on the weekend. We're going to have 5 cars all together here in a minute, because I think in the background there, that's actually VR46 who has rejoined the race. That's great to see. So look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together there. So we're heading around over the crest that covers the tunnel into the circuit. Marge there still hanging on to 8th with Bazek's catching him. And then JR80 in the Lexus, that's my car of choice. Followed by Whitesnake. Unfortunately at the back there, VR46 is a couple of laps behind, but I think he's generally a bit faster than these cars in front, so he may take the option to unlap himself, and that may produce opportunities for him later in the race. So let's have a look back up the front. Now, Anun is still chasing hard Chicken Paxo, but that gap is still hanging around about the 1.5 seconds area. Banff in the blue and yellow Bentley there, he's keeping Anun honest, but he doesn't seem to be able to just get that little bit closer. But these three are 8.5 seconds up the road from Rusty GT. Now, I'm sure Rusty is going to be chuffed with that position if he can hang on to it. That would match his best result so far of the season. So here we go, through Jochenrindt. Down towards Jackie X chicane. And another lap in the book. So I'm just looking back down to just see how close Donardi is getting to Chris V Dove for that battle for 4th and 5th. And he is getting closer. Well, you can see it visually on screen. Generally, Donardi, we would expect to have more pace. But then he may have a slightly damaged car from that incident on lap 1. Now, everything seems to be boiling up at once, because it's interesting, and Micro Batik will be very happy that Anun has caught Chicken Paxo. He's got the gap down to 0.6 of a second. So let's just have a quick look up the front here. And in fact, we've missed Anun getting back into the lead. He's passed Chicken Paxo. Oh, and in the background there's Banff getting in the air over that tight chicane there. That can be a real risky one. If you get just offline through that chicane, the sausage curbs will send you into orbit. But unseen by us, because we were concentrating on the battle between Donardi, which we are looking at as well, and there we go. The commentator's having a bad night tonight. We've missed 2 overtaking manoeuvres there, but Donardi has got through on Chris V Dub. So that's Donardi up to 5th. So he will be trying to hunt down Rusty GT for 4th. So I think realistically, with the time we have left, which is 9.5 minutes, I think that's as far up as Donardi will be likely to get. So this battle at the front is definitely hotting up. So I think we're going to hop on board and stay with these 3 for now. Just trying to see if they've got anything else that's likely to bubble up. At the moment, can't see anything that's going to jump out at me. So we'll just stick with these guys. And it looks like that may have been a mistake by Chicken Paxo, because he's now suddenly looking very racy indeed. All over the back of the blue Mercedes of Anun there. And of course, as these two are fighting, it's bringing Banff closer in as well. So through the Klein chicane, over the crest, down towards Villeneuve. Cracking battle for the lead here. We're halfway in the race, and less than a second covers the first 3. Absolutely fantastic racing. So here we go. Back down towards the final part of the circuit. These 3 just do seem to be spreading out just a little bit, maybe. Banff just dropping slightly off the back of this this battle. So I'm going to take a risk and go back to see Donardi working on Rusty GT, who he has caught extremely rapidly over the last lap. So I'm going to take an even braver pill, and let's see if we can go for an onboard. So here we go. This is Jackie X chicane. Out as you came down the start finish straight, we'll be easing across to the right for the first left-hander. Harden the brakes down to 2nd or 3rd. Easy to run wide on the exit here. That gravel comes out and waves you in. And then back down to 2nd gear for this right-hander here. Now looks like Donardi's got some good pace out of this one. Are we going to be looking down the inside here at Canal Turn? No, not. Next chance is up at Klein chicane. So trying to tuck right under. We're going to be hitting the brakes just about at that bridge. No, can't do it there either. So here we go. It's a bit 1 by 1 through this chicane here. Looks like he lost a little bit of pace there. Just trying to get the view that I like, which is that one. Looking back, Chris V Dub is a little way back. You can see him coming out of the chicane in the background there. So Donardi's not going to get any pressure from him. So this 2.5 mile circuit, there's nowhere which is a really obvious clean overtaking manoeuvre because there's no massively long straights. So you only have to be a bit inventive or hope that the driver in front of you makes a little bit of a mistake. And with just 6 minutes to go, Rusty has just got to keep this going for probably another just over 4 laps, and he will... Oh no! I think he's maybe gone a little bit deep there. Have we got a run on him? We're looking down the outside. We're trying to go right round the outside. That compromises Rusty in front of us to the inside. Yes, he has. And I think we've gone by. Yes, we have. We're through. Fantastic stuff there. So that is Donardi up to 4th and Rusty down to 5th. Just having a look down through the field, see where we've got other action, but I think we need to look at the action at the front because these three are still running together. So that's a Nun in the blue Mercedes in front of you, then the red and yellow Audi on screen there, that is Chicken Paxo, and at the back there of the three is Banff, and these still running within a second of each other, and we've only got 5 minutes to go. So I think that is, as they cross the line, going to equate to 4 laps. So can a Nun hang on for a win here? That would be his first win since the Suzuka endurance race, and his first win in a sprint race. So it looks like Chicken Paxo hasn't given up on this one yet. He's all over the back of that blue Mercedes of a Nun. Banff just fallen away a little bit there, gap up from 2nd to 3rd to just about a second. But I'm sure if these leaders start fighting, that will slow them up that little bit, and Banff will be back on them. Heading up towards the Klein chicane. Possible overtaking moving over there if you've got a really good exit the previous corner from Canal. But these drivers are all on such a pace. Oh! Speaking of which, that looked like a Nun made a mistake on the exit from Klein. It got a little bit sideways there, and they're going side by side down into Villeneuve. And Chicken Paxo's got the inside for it, and he's got the move done. Chicken Paxo into the lead, and a Nun into second, and immediately coming under pressure from Banff. So Chicken Paxo has made a little bit of a break there. And Nun was compromised on his entry to the Villeneuve chicane there by the position that Chicken Paxo had taken. And it was all fair racing, but it's meant that Nun has fallen back into the clutches of Banff. So, with just 3 laps to go by my reckoning, Chicken Paxo has got back into the lead. This is real heavyweight slug match kind of stuff here tonight. It's swinging one way than another. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So another lap in the books. 3 minutes 11 to go. So yes, I think that means we're going to have 3 laps. I think these drivers are going to cross the line with just a few seconds remaining. Just having a look down the order. I can't see anybody else that's likely to change position at the moment. Unfortunately, only one, Randy Flangepants, I noticed has returned to the pits. So that has actually meant VR46 has moved up to 10th. And I'm thinking I thought we started with 12 drivers. I may be wrong, but we seem to be down to 11. So we'll have a ready reckoner in a minute. Bazix has moved his way back up to 7th after that first lap incident, which is literally at that position on the track. He's got his way up to 7th. He's 6.5 seconds behind Chris V Dub. So I wouldn't, with just 2 minutes remaining, expect him to be able to get anything back on Chris V Dub, but he still managed to recover it to 7th. So let's hop back to the leaders. Had a horrible moment there. I thought we'd lost a Nun, because I could only see one yellow car, but it was just the cameraman being slow again. So yeah, here we go, 2 laps to go, up to the line. I don't think a Nun has given this one up yet. I think Microbatic could be pleased. So I think a Nun's going to have a go at this at some point in the very near future. Time is running down for him. He is gapping Banff slightly. Well, he was. He just as I mentioned that, he seemed to make a very small mistake, and Banff is onto the back of a Nun again. This is yo-yoing between these 3 drivers. This is probably the battle of the season we've had so far. These guys are so tight on time between each other. And Banff is right on a Nun now. He's just 0.1 of a second behind. This has given Chicken Paxo a little bit of an opportunity to get away, because Banff in third there is now giving a Nun a little bit of a hard time. So I think we're going to take a brake pill and go on board with Banff. Here we are. So around up over the crest there, down to the right hander, hard on the brakes, down the first gear, then through the rinse chicane. Microbatic says very fair battles, everybody deserves it now. I think I agree with you there. I think that's a very reasonable summary of where we're at. Let's just hope we keep it for another 1.5 minutes to the end of this race. Looks like a Nun
is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
It looks like a Nun is just getting away from us a little bit, but I agree with Microbatic. Any of these 3 drivers definitely do deserve it. So we'll just get back to our trackside cameras there. Let's have a look, see if anybody else is livening anything up. I don't see anything. I'm just looking at Chris V. Dubby's just 2 seconds behind Rusty GT. Oh, look at this. Banff is right on the back of a Nun now. I don't know if a Nun made a little bit of a mistake there. He may have to go defensive. I think Chicken Paxo's got this one in the bag as long as he doesn't make a mistake. The time has run out. So when these drivers finish cross the line, the checker flag will be out, and that will be the end of the race. So, having commented that Chicken Paxo's season had slipped away a little bit following those early wins, he's now got it back on course, helped a little bit by that first lap clash between Bazix and Zanardi. Oh, and here we go, Banff is going for the inside on the last lap, and he couldn't quite make that one work, I'm afraid. And here we go, it's all caught up with itself. I thought it had all gone pear-shaped there. I think Banff realised he made a bit of a mistake, so he waited for a Nun, which is the right thing to do. This has been really fair the whole way through. Gave him a bit of a hard time through the final chicane there, but there we go. That's Chicken Paxo, our winner. In the end of the day, it was 4.5 seconds, but he was a little bit helped by that clash between Banff there and a Nun at that final right-hander. And Donardi has gone through in 4th, so that's a cracking recovery from where he was at the end of lap 1. Rusty GT, it's his 2nd best result of the season. He's through there in 5th. Chris V. Dub, he's come through there in 6th in the green Porsche there. Bazix, after that first lap clash with Donardi, he's recovered to 7th. And Marge, there we go, I've eventually covered the driver crossing the finishing line. He's come through in 8th. Whitesnake crosses the line in 9th. VR46 had already finished. Oh, it was JR80 that we lost. So I was sure we lost a driver somewhere along the line, so JR80 appears to have disconnected. Oh, and we've got Stuart Packham on the chat. Why are you chatting, Stuart Packham, and why are you not in here racing? You could go and give these boys a bit of a liven up, couldn't you? I know that he's always somebody I like to prod there. Actually, it seems to be the YouTube chat seems to be turning into a social between Microbatic and Stuart Packham. So I'll let that bromance carry on to its conclusion. So there we go. That's the result from our first one race. So Chicken Paxo picks up another win. That is his first win since Imola in the very first round, so that is going to help him in his chase of Donardi. And Donardi, of course, he lost out quite a few on points there with that incident on lap 1 that held him down to 4th. So that will have helped Paxo close up the gap on Donardi at the top 2 of the championship. And of course, along with that second place, that will have helped him with the gap he's got ahead of Bazux, because he will have extended a little bit there. And of course, DB Kung, unfortunately, due to marital anniversary issues, is not with us tonight, so he's going to stay on 97. But the thing we have to remember, before the end of the season, drivers will drop their 2 worst scores. So if they miss a race or 2, it's not a big drama, because drivers will actually drop their worst two scores by the end of the season, or worst 2 rounds, sorry, by the end of the season. So we are getting we're getting some more. Oh dear, I'm pressing. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the live chat up, and it's all gone a bit pear-shaped. So actually, we got some discussion on the that lap 1 incident between Bazux and Donardi, and they seem to be agreeing it was a racing incident, which is good to hear. We don't like to be Formula 1 where we put out an incident for somebody, or put out a penalty for somebody having a sneeze or anything like that. We can actually all sort it all out in the paddock. So just seeing if we've got anything else coming in the chat that's live up. Star Stewart says he can't do Tuesdays anymore, so he can't join us for a race. But I do keep him trying to invite him in the commentary, but he thinks quite a lot of his commentary might get bleeped out, so it might not be the best idea ever. But it's always good to have you watching. I want to hear your prediction for race 2 now, Stuart, because obviously Donardi and Bazux were spun out in the first race, so they didn't factor in it, but second race they could well be there. So which way do you think that one's going to go? So let's get on and have a look at some track action. Let's go on board with 8.5 minutes to go of this qualifying session. We'll go on board with Donardi, who was our pole sitter from race 1. This is it. This is coming down to the Villeneuve chicane. Like I say, this is very clumpy, as you can see. I think that is Banff in front of us. Across those sleeping policemen, very easy to get your lap disqualified for exceeding track limits. So, and then down to this tight right-hander, first gear. It appears Donardi's on his outlap. He's backed off now. We've got 18 seconds behind us, so plenty of space to try and gain some air in front, so you don't catch a driver in front and have any problems with being balked, or driver in front of you may be having an incident. There we go, he's now picking up speed. So here we go, this is a Jackie Ick chicane. Oh, he's got it wrong already. Back came round there at the first part of Jackie Ick, so he's lost a bit of performance there. So Stuart Packham is going for Dan pole and Bazux win. So we're on board with Dan now, so let's see if he can put it on pole. I think pole should be around about a mid to high 129. No, this is not good. That wasn't a good line there. A lot of understeer there. So here we go, up towards Canal. Is it going to stick a little bit better? Maybe we need another lap of heat in the tyres. Caught the apex nicely there. Yeah, good run out there. So here we go. Slam on the brakes just after the bridge, probably around that 100-metre sign. There we go. Right, try not to catch too much of sleeping policeman here, because you will go airborne. And then up over the crest, and then down towards Villeneuve. Again, this really clumsy chicane here. Just trying to take as much of the sleeping policeman as you can. That was a bit cleaner. So top left-hand corner shown is improved on his previous fast lap. Up by a quarter of a second. Then here we go, back down to first. And then hard on the accelerator here through Rint. And then just looking to pick out that final brake marker just around about the bridge there. There we go. Down to first. Not quite so slightly, had a big chunk of oversteer there last time, but this time he's looking a lot better. And here we go, up to the finishing line. Currently 6th. Now first. Here we go. That was a 1:30.1, so even with that bit of a slide, he still managed to put in a cracking time there. So, and he's 0.4 ahead of anybody else at the moment. So we are back up to 12 drivers. Thankfully JR80 has rejoined us, which is great to see. JR runs a race series for GT7 drivers. That is flat out e-racing. You can find them on Facebook. Join the group and get involved with their race series. They race a couple of times a week. So if GT7 is your thing, hop on board and find out what flat out e-racing can do for you. So right, drivers coming around to plug in a few more times. Let's see. Oh, again Donardi. The back of that Audi is looking very loose at the moment. We are a little bit later in the day compared to the first race. And the other factor we got this time is the race is 40 minutes, not 20 minutes. So double the length. Now drivers seem to have got their eye in on fuel levels, because the first couple of rounds we had drivers running out of fuel a few times. So I think they've got on top of that. So here comes Donardi round to complete another lap. Quite wide gaps at the front at the moment. People like Chicken Paxo haven't put a lap in as yet. So 1:29.6 for Banff. I looked at the time and I thought that was going to be a Donardi time, but that is a cracking time. Now Donardi's going to have his work cut out. I think Stuart Packham, you might have to eat your words here. It looks like Banff is on a flyer. So couldn't quite make his way off the third step of the podium in that first race, but he's got pole at the moment. Absolutely cracking time there. Now the one we're waiting to see something from is Chicken Paxo. Now he's coming up behind Chris V Dub, and it looks like he's backed out of it there maybe. Time's running down there for Chicken Paxo. We've only got 3.5 minutes left. Needs to get himself at least a banker in, I would suggest. Banff has gone for the pits after that cracking lap there. So Chicken Paxo coming up to the line. Chris V Dub goes 5th. And Chicken Paxo only 8th there. So yes, he did back off at the end of that previous lap. He was catching Chris V Dub, so I think he was looking for some space on the track. So Chicken Paxo's leaving it late. He's probably got, he might have 3 chances to get a lap in. He should cross the finishing line with just a few seconds left. Oh, look at that! Completely sideways at Canal Turn. So he's messed this one up as well. So pressure on Chicken Paxo here. We've got just over 2.5 minutes to go and he hasn't got a lap in yet. So our race 1 winner is all at sea at the moment. So I think this lap is likely to be a little bit quicker than the previous one, but he looks like he's also catching Chris V Dub. So he might want to back out of this one, but also he'll be reluctant not to, because he might back out of it because he wants to give some space in front for the next lap, but he hasn't got a lap time in yet. So let's see what Donardi is up to while we're waiting for Chicken Paxo, who's currently last of the people that have put a lap time in. So Donardi there, currently in 2nd place, heading down towards the latter part of the lap. So I can see Chicken Paxo about to cross the line. That's put him up to 4th, so 2nd row. So that is a workable position for him there, but realistically I'd say he wants to be front row. So he did get a bit of an advantage because Donardi and Bazek's taken each other off in that first race. Here we go, Donardi up to the line. And he goes pole with a 1:29.0. What a fantastic time. Stuart Packham, I'll eat my words. I can't believe that is going to be beaten. That is half a second quicker than Banff and half a second quicker than what Donardi did in the first qualifying session. What an absolutely mesmeric time that one is. So let's have a quick look. Who else can do anything about this? Oh, hello. That was Banff going off there, wasn't it? Oh, I think that was Banff returning to the pits there. So, sorry, that was Donardi pulling off to return to the pits. So, Chicken Paxo is out there at the moment. Now, he's in front of Chris V Dub now. We've only got 40 seconds remaining. Looks like somebody has gone off. I think is that Bazix? No. Oh, Rusty GT's gone off just after the Klein chicane, getting his Ferrari spun round and on his way again. So Chicken Paxo coming up to the line to complete his lap. He's got time for one more. Oh, and he's pulled himself up to third, so he's 0.8 off pole. 0.3 of a second will find him onto the front row alongside his teammate. So has he got 0.3 in this car? Let's have a look. Who else is likely to do something? Time has run out. We've just got 2.5 minutes for drivers to complete their laps. I'm just looking down if anybody I think is a little bit out of position. VR46 actually. I would expect him to be higher. I think he qualified 5th in the first race, but currently he's down there in 10th. Oh, and unfortunately we lost JR80 again. It looks like he's having a fairly torrid time of it with connection tonight by the look of it. So VR46, he's just coming down to Villeneuve. Oh, and there's a car off just after Villeneuve, but it has returned to the pit, so that's not going to get in his way. So we'll come back to VR46 in a second, but I'm just going to hop to Chicken Paxo when the cameraman, who was clearly asleep there, catches up with. Oh, and he obviously wasn't improving things there. So the one that can possibly do something is VR46, and he's heading up towards Jackie X chicane. Can he do something? Currently in 10th, qualified 5th for the first race, and he gets himself up to 7th. So big improvement there. So there we have it. There's your grid for the first, or for the second race, which is a 40-minute race compared to the 20-minute one we've just had. So Donardi F1 on pole, as predicted by Stuart Packham, 1:29.0. Absolutely cracking time there. I was not expecting that at all. Banff in second. Finished third in the first race, just half a second off. Bazix in third. Chicken Paxo in fourth. So Bazik, unnoticed by me, did slot in a quicker time there at the end, and he got himself up to third. And then Chicken Paxo in fourth. So it's the battle of the Audi and the Bentley teams at the front there. So this could be quite juicy for our second race. And to add to the juice is a Nun there in fifth in the Mercedes. So he was second in the first race and really had front line pace there. And then look at sixth place, Randy Flangepants. What a qualifying result there. Randy's had a bit of a torrid season so far, but he will be absolutely chuffed for that one, I imagine. And then VR46 for that last minute lap there. He got himself up to 7th. Rusty GT in 8th. And then Marge in the only McLaren in the race. He's there in 9th. Chris V Dub, bit below where I'd expect him to be there, down in 10th. And White Snake in 11th in the Soul Aston Martin. So, well, let's just mention the White Snake there. His best result has been a 4th at Laguna at the last round. So a lot of drivers had their best results at Laguna Seca last time out. Quite a short circuit, that one. If you joined us for the race, or if you want to watch it back, you can see it below in the videos that we've got here on Race Club. And of course, so you don't miss any more, you know what I'm going to tell you to do. You're going to like, you're going to subscribe, and you're going to share, because they're the important things to do, because otherwise you're going to miss out on what is going on with Race Club, because we're only halfway through the season. This is round 6 of 12, so this is going to get us halfway. We've still got a few rounds to go. We've got some specials. We've got a GT4 round, which is the first for Race Club. That's going to be at the Hungaro Ring. And then, of course, we've got our grand finale at the fantastic Bathurst circuit in Australia. I commentated on a race for a different series on that Sunday night, and that produced some great racing. After an hour, I think the leading two were probably 3 seconds apart. It was more like a sprint race. So that was absolutely fantastic. Now, as you can see on screen by the slightly duller conditions, we are starting a bit later. This is 8 p.m, so temperatures will be a little bit lower, so grip levels will be different. So this may produce a little bit of a different result. You can see the sun setting in the background there. Give you an idea where we are in Belgium. We're in the sort of northeast corner. We're not far from Liège, and of course Liège is in itself not far from Spa. And obviously Belgium is not exactly the United States when it comes to area, but it's still of a reasonable European size, shall we say, and there's interest in all the circuits sort of end up in the same kind of area. Spa has obviously had massive improvements over the years from where it was originally as just effectively a massive triangular road circuit. And anybody who follows racing closely may be aware that Spa has had some significant improvements over the last winter. They've pushed tyre barriers back, particularly at corners like Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, and part of the reason for that is they are getting certified again for motorcycle racing, which on big international races I don't think has happened since the early 1970s. I don't think they're in a position to get the MotoGP back, but there's certainly some higher profile races, motorcycle races, than what they've been holding that are coming back to the circuit. So some massive investment there, particularly on the first part of the circuit from Eau Rouge down to from La Source Hairpin down to Eau Rouge. The famous chalet that used to overlook, or Swiss cottage chalet kind of place that used to overlook Eau Rouge, that's been demolished because the land has been taken away to increase the runoff area. So after that little bit of Spa-Francorchamps update, we have got ourselves round the warm-up lap. Donardi leading them through. We've got a good mix there of Audi and Bentley team. Be interesting to see if anybody tries to work there together. Anun in the Mercedes there in fifth is a little bit on his own. They're getting themselves lined up, keeping it under 70 kilometres an hour. And we are...
Green light, go, go, go.
And we're off. Here we go, down to the first corner, and it looks like Bamford's got a good run down on the outside there, but it's the long way round, and Donardi is hanging on down the inside, but I think coming up to the next right-hander, there we go. Bamford's got the move done, but Donardi's got the undercut as they head up towards Canal Turn. Donardi's got the inside, so let's hope the same doesn't happen again. Donardi's got the inside, hangs on to it, Bamford runs out a little bit. Chicken Paxo to third and Bazut's in fourth. Donardi going a little bit defensive, but oh, that was Bamf way late on the brakes there, went across the chicane. I think he's letting, yes, he's doing the right thing, he's letting Donardi back through there because he gained a position. We don't need race control to tell drivers what to do. They can do it all on their own here at Race Club. So here we go, still going through. Two Audis, two Bentleys, but look, they're in fifth. VR46 got his start at the seventh, already got up 2 positions on the start lap. There might well have been a little bit of action further back, but everyone's still pointing the same way and not got a massive gap behind them, so I think we're okay at the moment. Yes, they're all still running there. So here we go, round a complete, lap 1. It's Donardi first, Bamf second, Chicken Paxo third, Bazut's fourth, and Bazut's looks like he's coming under a little bit of pressure there from VR46. So here we go, VR46 coming out, but that's the long way round for the left-hander. I don't think he can do anything from it there. But it's great to see everybody has got round and they're all pointing the same direction. Now the one that has lost a little bit of time, I'm surprised by, is a Nun, who's there in his blue Mercedes in 6th place, because he was up there in... Oh, hello, what's going on just behind there? It was looking about 3 wide there. These guys are certainly having a bit of a battle there. You've got Rusty GT with Chris V Dub there in the green Porsche, and then behind him is Marge just pulling out there in the 21 black McLaren, and then at the back it was Whitesnake in the Aston Martin. So these three having a real humdinger. In fact, these 4, nearly 5, and Marge looks like came unstuck slightly there. So they've gone sort out a little bit line astern now. Randy Flangepants leading them through, followed by Rusty GT and then Chris V Dub. Looks like they're dropping. I think it's Marge they've dropped off a little bit on the back there. So maybe he just made a little bit of a mistake, but these 4 are still quite close together when the cameraman wakes up. Left, yep, bit more left, bit more left. There we go. So Randy Flangepants there in the red Bentley leading Rusty GT. I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening up front, and they're all still as they were at the end of lap 1 at the moment. I will be keeping an eye on it. It looks like they're dropping Bazix a little bit in 4th. In fact, on that base, I think we will pop back up to the front. So there we go. In the yellow and blue Audi there on your screen, that is Donati, followed by Banff in the blue and yellow Bentley. Chicken Paxo 3rd in the yellow and red Audi. And it looks like they are dropping Bazix there. So Stuart Peckham's bet for the win is not looking that great at the moment. Your accumulator is falling apart, I think, unfortunately there. And VR46 still keeping Bazix, VR46 in 5th, keeping Bazix in 4th, still in sight, but not really that close, or appear to be closing on him. The gap was about just over a second, I think, at the end of the previous lap. It's now up to 1.5 seconds. Oh, someone's got a drive through. Who's that? 42. Oh, that's Randy Flangepants. So I didn't quite see what the offence for. I would imagine that was possibly for taking... Oh, he's dropped to the back, so he's obviously contravening the steward in some way. So unfortunately that is going to cause him a fair bit of pain, but I'm sure Randy will carry on. So just looking down while these ones have settled out at the front, it looks like Whitesnake was giving, is still giving Chris V Dub a bit of a hard time. And in fact, Marge has caught them up as well. So I haven't dropped off a little bit there. Marge is back on to Whitesnake. So oh, bit of gravel there. Was there somebody off? Oh, looked like just Chris V Dub have gone a little bit wider. These 4 at the back are getting all lively again as Randy Flangepants completes his drive-through penalty. Oh, Marge there in the McLaren getting very sideways there out of canal. So Chris V Dub in the green Porsche leads, followed by Rusty GT in the white and grey Ferrari, and then in a similar colour scheme is the Aston Martin of Whitesnake, and then at the back the black one is Marge. So just keeping an eye at the front. The drivers are all in the same positions. There's about between 1 and 2 seconds between all of them, apart from VR46, who is keeping Bazix very honest at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on this battle, because I think this could liven up in a minute. It's good to see these drivers a little bit further down. Get out. Oh no! And that's Marge. Got it all wrong. Left, cameraman. Left. Left. No, the other left. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. And it looks like, unfortunately, Marge spun it and then spun back round the other way. So unfortunately, that's dropped him off the back of that little pack there. So we will hop back to that one. So Whitesnake in the background there, still hanging on in the Aston Martin. And then that's Rusty GT on your screen there, just trying to clutch onto the green Porsche of Chris V Dub. Still all line astern at the front. But VR46 still getting close to Bazic, so I think we may pop back to that one. Oh, Rusty GT just caught the curb on the inside of the corner there. All got a bit loose round Canal, but he did keep it together. So, just trying to see if we've got any other battles developing. I think while this one seems to have settled out, and of course that's the moment where as soon as I look away something happens. Actually something, oh, I should have looked there, because VR46 has got by Bazic. I knew he was threatening to do it, but I was expecting action a little bit further back, so my mistake there. I do apologise to everybody there. And VR46, who was giving Bazic quite a hard time there, he had dropped away a little bit in the background, but he'd been getting up and getting close, but you know, I didn't expect him to get by that quickly. So the next one that Bazic is going to have to defend from is a Nun, who we know had good pace in the first race. Doesn't seem to be going quite as well this time. 2 seconds off Bazic at the moment, so that's quite a gap to collect. And we are approaching quarter distance on this 40-minute race. So at the front, it does all seem to be very neat and line astern for the top three drivers. We will just pop back there. So that's Donardi there in the yellow Audis going through. Then in the background is the yellow Bentley of Banff. So they are pulling out from Chicken Paxo, our race one winner, by about 2.5 seconds at the moment. And just looking down, and Nun is catching Bazic, but not by a massive amount at the moment. So have we got anything else that we've got developing? Let's have a look back to this battle further down. The cameraman's still asleep down at that right hand. I'm really going to have to stop jumping to that when I'm changing drivers, because that cameraman is never awake. But who is awake is Rusty GT, because he's all over the back there of Chris V Dub. Rusty's managed to pull himself away from Whitesnake, but now he is all over Chris V Dub in front of him. Now Chris V Dub, I always think this is worth mentioning, whereas the majority of these drivers use some form of rig with pedals and steering wheel, Chris V Dub uses a hand controller. So that is remarkably difficult, because you're trying to steer very precisely round these corners, and it's a lot easier to do it with a big disc in front of you than it is with a little mushroom on a controller. So I always tip my cap to Chris V Dub. I think he does some absolutely stunning stuff, considering he's using a hand controller. Oh, speaking of which, he then gets bouncy all over the curb, and it all nearly went a bit pear-shaped there, but he's kept it all together. In fact, he is pulling a little bit away from Rusty GT there. So I am just going to pop back to the front, because it looks like Banff is catching Donardi. He's got the gap under a second. Not sure whether he can do anything more about it. Apart from this battle to the front, everyone else is a little bit spread out. Just trying to see if I've got anything which I think is going to develop. Nobody is particularly out of position at the moment. They are potentially going to catch Randy Flangepants. This is the leaders. They will potentially catch Randy Flangepants. I would say it's probably going to be 4 or 5 laps. But he's obviously had that drive-through penalty, Randy Flangepants, so he needs to be out of position. So that, it could provide an opportunity for the drivers. The drivers being lapped will get a blue flag. So through Villeneuve, Chicken Paxo definitely dropping off the back of these two here at the moment. gap of about 3 seconds from second place Banff to third place Chicken Paxo. So it'd be great to hear from anybody out there in the chat as to who do you think is going to win this one. Has Denardi got it in the bag? Is Banff playing the long game? If I'm going to put my prediction, I think Denardi will hang on to this one. He'll be particularly keen as his teammate won the other race, and obviously that gave him a bit of an advantage and closed up in the championship. And Denardi with Chicken Paxo in third, it would restore the gap that he had at the beginning of this round. But we've got a long way to go. We're only just about third race distance. So everybody is settled out very much at the moment. I'm just looking through quickly if I can spot anybody who is going to actually likely to do anything in the next couple of laps. I can't see anybody at the moment. We're all sitting with about sort of 2-second gaps between each other. So I don't think at the moment that anybody is likely to make a significant move. I will just run through to you where we're going to head for the rest of the season. As I said, this is basically half distance. Next week we're back to the UK, to Donington Park. Great circuit that. Good overtaking opportunities, usually produces some good racing. And then the following week we're at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, so we're not going far. That's a 1 hour race, and the time will be accelerated by 3 times. It will start at 7 in the evening, which means it will end in the dark, which always tends to provide another layer of excitement. And then the final run in the championship, we're off to Hungaroring for the GT4 race, and then to Kyalami in South Africa, which there's rumours that's going to rejoin the F1 championship. Then back to the UK for Silverstone, and that is going to be a wet race, so that brings another factor into play. And then finally we are, as I mentioned earlier, off to Mount Panorama in Australia, the famous Bathurst circuit, for the finale. That will be a 2-hour day-night race with accelerated time again. So we have got some real lively stuff coming for you, and we've lost somebody. Who have we lost? We've lost VR46 again, and he was doing so well. He was up to 4th place there. So Bazix has had a gift there of 4th place. Oh, we've lost somebody else. I think that's Randy Flangepants. So, oh dear, we've had significant dropouts here with 25 minutes to go. Oh, and Chris V Dub is in the pits. It's all kicked off. I shouldn't have talked about the championship. Oh, Chris V Dub. Oh dear, look at the near side front wheel there. That is definitely not something you want to roll up when you're handing your hire car back. In fact, has he missed it? Oh, he has got his garage. Yeah, that all looks a bit broken there. I think that's going to take more than a bit of buffing with T-Cut to fix that one. So, as I mentioned earlier, going back to Bazix, who in the pale blue and yellow Bentley there, I said he was gradually being caught by a Nun, and he is. And a Nun looks like a driver on a mission here. So we know he had good pace from race 1. Bazix, of course, had that incident and fell to the back of the field and then recovered in race 1. And the Nun was up there in 2nd place, but it looks like a Nun has had the pace to catch him. But as the late great Murray Walker said, catching's one thing, passing is completely another. So let's see if a Nun can do anything about Bazix. Looking elsewhere on the field, and the Nun getting all loose there and squirrely coming out of the Klein chicane, and that has cost him time. That's cost him a significant amount of time. So he was putting his foot on the throttle, but the rear tyres really didn't want to comply with that one. So he's got it all to do again. Let's see what the gap is now as he comes through. Yes, 1¼ seconds. It was down to about ½ second. So that has really cost him. So let's just have a look, see if we've got anything happening on YouTube. Doesn't look like we have at the moment, which is, just want to catch up. No, it'd be great to hear from somebody on YouTube. Let me know you're still listening, still watching. That would be great to hear. So we'll stick with this battle at the moment with Anun and Bazux. Chris V Dub is still in the pits. Hopefully he's going to rejoin the race. It's still looking not in good condition there. I'd imagine the repair time on that would be fairly significant because the suspension and that didn't look very happy at the front there. So let's just hop board, see how Donardi's getting on as he heads down there through the Villeneuve chicane. He's now pulled away again from Banff's, got the gap up to about 2.5 seconds. Chicken Paxo sitting a steady 4 seconds behind Banff. So these top three there, and that's Chicken Paxo working his way down to the right-hander. These three have really pretty much cleared off from the rest of the field. We'll just get at the gap in a second. Yeah, 7.5 seconds up the road from Bazux. So Anun will be the one that's likely to make some form of move as he catches up with Bazux there. I made a mistake again there, didn't I? I just really shouldn't use that corner cameraman. But it looks like Anun is catching Bazux again quite quickly. That gap went out to about 1.25 seconds as they get to the line. It's down to 1.1. So I think a couple of laps, I think Anun is going to be back on the rear bumper of that Bentley of Bazux. So we're clicking down towards half race distance. Of course, if you want to get involved with the racing you see here on a set of Corsa Competizione with Race Club, look them up on Facebook. There's an active Facebook group on there. Join the group, find out a bit more about the racing. We have got a few slots on the grid, a little bit low on numbers tonight due to getting into that summer holiday period and wedding anniversaries and so on. So we're normally looking at around 14 or 15, so we have space for 18. So if you want to get involved and get on with the racing, you can see we've got a little bit of a spread of performance time, so you'll find somebody out there that you can be racing with. So get on board, search Facebook for Race Club, and you can get involved in the racing, and you could be on screen and I can be talking about you. So Anun actually, after catching Bazux there for a lap or two, now seems to have fallen away in his blue Mercedes there. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. Let's see who else we've got that's out there and active. Oh, the cameraman can't.
Not over yet.
There we go. Half race distance has just been cleared. So there we go. Rusty GT coming through to complete his current lap. Rusty currently sitting 10th in the championship with a best result of 4th in the second race at Brands Hatch. Oh, and he's just going a bit wide there. I did mention earlier, it's just so easy to run wide at that first corner. And talking of run wide, I think somebody who's made a mistake, just as I looked away, as is always the case, is Anun, because he's now 7 seconds behind Bazux, whereas before he was about 1.1. So he's made a mistake there somewhere. So with this longer race, tyre wear is probably going to come into it a little bit as we get towards the latter part. So the first race would have already been completed now. So they are obviously going into an area where it was, you know, beyond the where they experienced in the first race. So could be a lack of grip. It's obviously getting into the evening now. The sun's setting. It's getting cooler. That reduces tyre pressures, and then you don't get quite so much grip. So that may be part of the problem that these drivers are suffering from. So Rusty GT is quite a way behind Anun. So I don't see him catching anything there. Chris V Dub has, very gratefully for me, had his car repaired and rejoined the track. He's currently 9th. He's currently sitting 8th in the championship, so this will help his tally. The top 10 drivers do get a point, so for tonight you've only got to get to the finish and you're in the money. So he had a great race out, great race last time out, did Chris. Laguna Seca, he finished on the podium in 3rd place in the first race, but had the most spectacular disconnection that we've seen in the second race, where it looked like he was a A320 Airbus taking off at the end of a runway instead of a car that was supposed to be approaching a corner. He just took off and disappeared over the hedge, and we never saw him again. So it was the most spectacular disconnection I've ever seen. So he's had a similar problem again tonight. I think he connects via mobile data, so that may have been the drop out there for him. So everyone is quite well spread out, which makes it obviously quite difficult to find action to show you at home. We're coming down to 17 minutes to go. Who shall we have a look and talk about next? Let's have a look at Marge when we find him. There we are, Marge in the McLaren there. I think it's the only McLaren running in the championship actually. So brave choice there. It's not a car that I've got much experience. I prefer the old Enzo Ferrari logic of the cart should pull, the horse should pull the cart. So I prefer my engine in the front and the drivetrain at the back. McLaren obviously a very modern car with a mid-engine. Can make it a little bit more susceptible to turning around with all that weight in the back, and acts like a pendulum. But Marge seems to be looking after it quite well. Currently there in 8th. Not sure what the gap is from him to Whitesnake. He did obviously have that spin down at the right hand. He's 16 seconds behind, so Whitesnake may, you never know, could have a drama here and there. And let's just have a look at Whitesnake again. A car which is a bit of a unique choice in this championship, which is the Aston Martin. He's currently running 12th in the championship. He's had the best result of 4th, and again that was at Laguna Seca. So for some of these drivers a little bit further down in the championship, Laguna Seca did produce some good results for them. Interesting, some of these more unusual choices in Assetto Corsa. The Bentley, for example, is a very popular choice, and I was commentating on the Bathurst race that I mentioned to you earlier on Sunday, and there was a driver there using a very left field choice, which was the Jaguar, and I think he actually finished 2nd or 3rd on the podium. So for what is quite a rarely chosen car, he was doing great things with it. So whether that was down to the driver or the car, or more likely a combination of the both, I don't know. But some of these brands that aren't the most popular choice sometimes for these race series can produce cracking results. So that's Whitesnake. We've just dropped under 15 minutes to go. So let's just pop back up the front and see. I've done it again. Oh no, it's right. Donardi's coming. No, that was Chicken Paxo coming. So Donardi there come up. Bamp has dropped off a little bit. He's now 2.5 seconds behind. But championship wise, this is going to neutralise the points gain that Chicken Paxo had by winning the first race against Donardi, who finished I think 4th, and they're almost finishing in the exact reverse. So in the second race, with Donardi winning and Chicken Paxo actually 1 position higher than what Donardi was, he's in 3rd. So that will really neutralise the gain that Chicken Paxo got from that round or race 1 win. But there's a long way to go. There's rounds to be dropped, so we're only this, end of this race will signify halfway through the season. So we do have a long way to go. Banff there in 2nd place. He's a little bit down in the championship where I'd normally expect. He's there in 6th. He's a very competitive driver, as we saw from that first race, until he had he was up there. Sorry, for 3rd place. And 3rd place seems to have been his sort of weapon of choice this season, because he was third at Imola, Monza, and the Suzuki 1 hour race, and the Suzuki 1 hour race was double points, so that gave him a bit of a boost back up in the championship. So he is very good at finishing third, so just needs and finished third in the first race, and looks like he's going to actually break that duck and come out with a best season result of second in the second race here tonight at Zolder. So let's work our way down. Who else have we got? Chicken Paxo we covered off earlier. And Nunn, a little bit in no man's land at the moment, is a bit behind Basics. Actually, the gap to Basics is increasing, because it was 7 seconds, it's now 9. So it looks like with these cooler conditions, it's falling away a little bit from Nunn there. And Nunn's results, I think I've messed up. Well, I do think he won a race in Monza, and he won a race in he won the endurance race in Suzuka, so I'm going to credit him with that. He's currently third in the championship, so that would work together with those points and make sense of my scribble notes, which I've been battling with. And looking away at my notes, I didn't see and Nunn have another little bit of an adventure off as he came through the Klein chicane, and I would bet fairly good money that was down to the fact that he clout with one of the sleeping policemen, went airborne, and obviously when your wheels are in the air they aren't gripping the tarmac, and you just go off wherever gravity decides, and he's off again. He's we're 2/3 of the way, or nearly 3/4 of the way through this race, and it looks like a Nunn. I don't know if he's picked up some damage, but he's certainly lost a lot of grip there. And he's dropping away from Basics. It was 7 seconds, then it was 9, it's now 13. So, and he's decided it's time for the pits. Now that's a brave move. Oh no, that was not a brave move. There's a chicane there. So that is going to add time to his repair bill. So, Micro Batik, if you're still out there, not good for a Nunn this one. Look at the damage he's just inflicted to the front of that car. He obviously thought it was a straight run in the pits, and it wasn't. He went straight into the tyre barrier there at that sharp left. So who is this going to play into the hands of? Probably, I would say, Whitesnake, because we've got Sleepy Cameraman corner. So Whitesnake is currently 6th. So he's going to go past the Nunn. So I don't know whether that was damage or whether that was tyre wear that forced the Nunn into the pits there, but he's going to drop one position there because Whitesnake's gone through. Oh, okay, I've got a note from a Nunn. It was, he got a puncture, which is why he was running off the track quite so regularly, and then he ruined his pit entry. Yet we saw you ruin your pit entry there. That was not the way to go. That was a straight into the tyre wall. Don't do it that way. And I think that was Marge getting a bit sideways there, just flicking onto him in that black and yellow McLaren, but he didn't spin all the way round, so he's come through on and I think Marge is possibly through as well, yeah. And Chris V Dub, Chris V Dub, he had that massively long repair, so Nunn has come out. So it looks like things are about to liven up for us. Oh, Micro Batik is come. He's back in the chat. Yeah, feel for him. That good effort, great pace from Donardi. Yep, I agree that Donardi is really keeping the hammer down at the moment. So Banff is now 3.2 seconds behind him. But what will be interesting to see, what can a Nunn do now with a repaired car with a fresh set of tyres? So I'm going to wait for him to come through at the, or I can do it visually on the screen. So he's just coming down to the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, it's a big ask. It's a big ask, because his next car up is Marge there, who is just going through the Jackie Ick chicane. And actually he's catching Rusty GT at the moment. So it looks like Rusty may have made a mistake there. but Nun has got a long way to go with only 8 minutes left to catch up to the cars in front of him. So this, after having that great result in race 1, where's Bazix? Bazix is going to close up with him in the championship, so that's for 3rd and 4th in the championship. So and then that was actually Denardi coming through, I think there. Yes, it was. So that's Denardi coming through now, lapping these cars, and that's meant that Marge, doing the right thing and getting out of the way, has actually lost a bit of time there to Rusty. So who else is going to boil things up for us before we get to the end? Well, the next one coming through on the lap cars is Bazix there in that blue and yellow Bentley as he heads down towards Villeneuve. So he's got to work his way through these cars. Now, cars coming through to lap you can sometimes be an advantage if you're trying to get by the car in front. Now, whether Marge or Rusty can take advantage as Bazix is catching them up, be interesting to see, because Marge could let Banff by, then use him as a what should I say, like a ramrod to get by Rusty as well. So depends how he plays it. Depends where Banff catches him, or where Banff catches Marge, to let forcing his hand to let him through. Sorry, I'm trying to do multiple things here and it's not working, so we'll go back to what I'm good at, which is talking. So Banff, as he catches Marge, may try and look for a quick opportunity to get through, because obviously he doesn't want Denardi to get away, because Denardi's now 5.2 up the road, and in fact Marge leapt out of the way there up towards the Klein chicane, so doing the absolute right thing there. Pete couldn't kept a bit closer, because he could have used Banff to drag him through past Rusty, because that battle between Rusty and that white and grey Ferrari, and the black and yellow McLaren in the background, that is for position. That is for 6th position between those two. And I think, I haven't got his numbers in front of me, I think that would be, but if Marge got by Rusty, I think that would be his best result. So if Marge is going to hang on in there, he might be able to do something. So let's see how, where's a Nun? Just trying to see where a Nun is relative to Marge. Now a Nun is number 8. Oh, and that's... Oh, Rusty. Oh, no! Rusty is to... Oh, no. Rusty was being lapped by Banff there and then got turned round. So, and Banff got turned round by Rusty. There appeared to be some kind of miscommunication there between the two drivers. And that has dropped Banff right back into the clutches of Chicken Paxo. What a turn up for the books. That Rusty GT is in no way, of what I've seen, a dirty driver at all. And maybe he just expected Banff to take a wider line there. But that has brought Chicken Paxo into play onto the back of Banff. Where's the gap? Oh, and then Banff has made another mistake. He's gone over the Klein chicane. He's in the air. And Chicken Paxo is now all over him like a rash. They head down towards Villeneuve. Now, Banff has obviously been rattled, and Chicken Paxo is going to be keen to get through to make it an Audi 1-2. So, can he do anything about it? We thought this had all gone quiet, but it hasn't. We've got 4 minutes to go. So, at my best guesstimates, that is going to be 3 laps. So, now with this late race opportunity, can Chicken Paxo do anything about Banff? They come up to the Jackie Ick chicane. 2 more times to go. What's that? I thought Chicken Paxo in the red and yellow Audi there was taking a bit of a weird line, and ironically they are catching up with Rusty GT and Marge again, and Marge actually has got in front of Rusty GT, so that could be Marge's best result. up to 6th there. So we're just under 3.5 minutes to go. So Marge on a flyer there at the moment. But we'll go back to Chicken Paxo and Banff. Now Banff seems to have settled down again, but of course he's now got the problem. He's catching up with Rusty GT, who just 2 laps ago spun him round at the first corner. So I'm sure Rusty will be a little bit upset that he did that to Banff, and will probably leap out of the way. But as I mentioned earlier, with lap cars coming through, and look at that, Chicken Paxo all over the back of Banff there. So Chicken Paxo can smell blood. He can smell the blood of 2nd place off Banff. And the lap cars are coming up as well. And as we saw before, that can change the whole picture of things. So round the right-hander into the Rinch chicane. Chicken Paxo is all over the back of that Bentley, flashing his lights. I'm sure Banff won't be put off of that. He might be irritated by it, but he won't be put off by it. So here we go, down to turn 1. It looks like Chicken Paxo is right under the rear wing of that Bentley. Can he do anything about it? Banff is going defensive. Chicken Paxo trying to go through the wide line. Oh, and he's gone a bit slidey there. He was trying to do the undercut, but the back end was trying to come round, but he caught it. And it looks like Marge has dropped. No, he hasn't. I thought Marge had dropped back behind Rusty GT again, isn't? So the first car they're going to catch is Rusty GT. No, in fact, the first car they're going to catch is Marge. I'm not sure what's happened to Rusty. We won't worry about it at the moment, because this battle for 3rd is where the action all is at the moment. Marge getting a bit loose over there. Now, we've seen before, Marge does tend to leap out of the way with lap cars, so I don't expect him to do anything different this time when these guys come through. Chicken Paxo looking for the inside at the start of Villeneuve chicane there, but Banff covers him off. So, here we go. Back round Turdenbosch. I was trying not to say that one tonight because I knew I was going to pronounce it badly. Here we go, up to the right-hander. Chicken Paxo looking to the inside. Banff parking the Bentley in the middle of the road. So there we go, coming up. This is going to be the start of the final lap.
The leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
Banff going really, really defensive everywhere. So, here we go. 2.5 miles. 1 minute 30 seconds to decide who is going to stand on the 2nd step of the podium. Chicken Paxo again gets a good exit from Jackie Hicks, but Banff is going all defensive at the first corner. Chicken Paxo trying to go all the way around the outside, not going to do it there. Again, looks like he got a bit loose. Marge gets right out of the way, lets these two through to continue their battle. Oh, looks like a nun, unseen by us, has caught and passed Rusty GT, so he's got himself up to 7th place after having that pit stop after the puncher. So up towards the Klein chicane. Chicken Paxo still sticking his nose out, having a look, but wasn't close enough to do anything there. Here we go, over the crest down towards Villeneuve. He had a look last time, he's going to have another look again today. He had another look this lap, but can't do anything about it. Banff still blocking his path, parking that Bentley fairly in his way, in Chicken Paxo's way. So there we go, probably one of the last opportunities here. Banff going possibly a little bit deep there. Means Chicken Paxo can slide up under the rear wing of that Bentley. Chicken Paxo, this is his last chance. He's going to dive down the inside. No, he can't make it stick. Oh, it looks like, oh no, and he spun him round. I'm sure he's going to let him go. That one was down to Chicken Paxo, but interestingly, that's going to cost him more than that, because I think Bazux is going to come through actually 2nd. Not sure who crossed the line first there then. So Bazux crossed the line in 2nd, Chicken Paxo 3rd, and then Banff, who got spun out at the last corner there, in 4th. Whitesnake coming through for a 5th position there. Oh, and who was that? And Banff having another half spin off Rusty GT. I don't know if that was a bit of a discussion or a waggly finger, Alonso style, from what happened earlier. And then Chris V Dub, he is still circulating at the moment. He's just coming up to the final part of the circuit with our sleepy cameraman. There he goes. Flares going off in the crowd. Not sure who the blue and white ones are in support of. It's not like the big orange ones you get for Max Verstappen and McLaren. There we go, Chris V Dub up to the finishing line. So there we go, that completes our race order. Oh, getting a bit of a Tokyo drift going on there. So I hope everybody has enjoyed that race tonight. That was round 6 of season 5 of the Race Club GT3 Championship. Next week we will be at Donington Park in the UK. If you've enjoyed the commentary, my name's Trevor Rolfe. If you haven't enjoyed the commentary, it's not. Oh, Microbatic says thanks. Appreciate that. Big thumbs up. Thank you for that. Always appreciated. And we will see you again very, very soon.